Hey folks, welcome to our latest episode of Clan from the Stands. We are at full strength, and we're back for our first of many, hopefully Christmas episodes. Can you hear the little bells? There we go. I'm in the festive mood. Just put the tree up there. Look,
Nice, mate. Like it.
oh,
Took
we're
a lot of
just
effort
it.
that tree there, Ross. I can see you
By
spent
the
a
way,
lot
it's
of time
real
on that.
mate. Well, the kids helped though. Kids were great, so that was us. So yes, had a good night evening doing that with the kiddos. And here we are into December. You know the good thing about Christmas is, you're right in the middle of hockey season, right bang in the middle of hockey season, and we're starting to get to grips with things. We know what's what. We've kind of had a look at all the teams. So yeah,
The
we're
games
gonna
come
get
thick and fast.
that's exactly lots of games as well. And you know what the cool thing is? Everyone's off over Christmas, or most folk are. Everyone's in good moods. Everyone goes to the pub after, and yeah, looking forward to it. So, but let's talk about it. We're just gonna start. Was I've got a few topics we're gonna hit on in general, but we just need to start by picking the bones out of the last four games. So, since we last spoke, there was the overtime loss to Guildford, a really tight one. We obviously had a relatively comfortable win over Fife, who have picked up a little bit, got a result. Phil will have to mention that. As Phil said, they'll take points
One
out.
point weekend, didn't they?
They did. They had a good weekend, the Flyers, and they needed it. And then obviously the one. I mean, the good thing this season, they've been very few and far between. We got absolutely pumped by the Nottingham Panthers, 7-1, and then obviously a pretty heartbreaking loss against the Belfast Giants, getting back to the equaliser late and then losing in the shootout, which was yeah, the guys put a lot into that game. But anyway, that's where we are. That's the four games. Phil, I'm going to start with you, mate. What was your? I'm just going to rather than key in on any particular game, want to look at the games as a whole. How are you feeling? Last time we spoke, I think we had people saying on Twitter, it's the happiest they've ever seen us. Things are good, right? We're flying. We feel like we can do anything. This team is really could be something special. Are you still feeling like that? Are you a little bit? But how do you feel about those four games? I mean, it's not all the 7-1 obviously hurts a lot, but outside of that, I know there were losses, but these are tight games, right? How are you feeling
Yeah.
about the performances in the last four games?
Well, I felt a lot better before the weekend. um, listen, the, well, obviously we done Fife and we got a point for Guildford, and then this weekend, obviously Nottingham absolutely spanked us. And then we bounced back. We bounced back a bit against Belfast. How am I feeling overall? The Nottingham game, that was circumstantial. How we lost that for me so heavily. Obviously with Sammy going out. I'm not reading into it too much because there was circumstances with that with the goalie getting out and stuff. However, I expect better for the team just because your goalkeeper can't come out for the second and third period. There was no protection for the guys. Like I think there was four shots on brine in the first 45 seconds of that second period. I was fucking going off my nut watching it. Watched it up to 3-1, and then my £16 webcast got turned off. Overall, yeah, we're still picking points up when we're getting beat, which is something we've not done. But we're doing that regular. So, yeah, the wheels on the off haven't come off completely for me.
Okay. Chris, what about you?
Yeah, I think this weekend particularly has been a bit of a stark reminder as to, we've got a lot to find still as a collective, as a group. And yeah, certainly Saturday was a stark reminder of the gap between a top team and Nottingham. Is certainly that, or they have been so far this season and where we're at,
Hmm.
which is perhaps upper mid-table. If, you know, on a good day, we're upper mid-table. So, yeah, and obviously the goalkeeping situation, as Phil said, didn't help at all. But clearly we didn't get to grips with that whatsoever. And I'm not sure Prime is really ready, to be honest, across both nights. Personally speaking, I mean, I know he made some good saves in the Sunday game, but I think at least two out of those three goals we would want back. At least two out of three goals we would want back, in my opinion. Sure, there was deflections, etc., but I just don't think he was quite at it. As the game wore on Sunday against Belfast, I thought he'd get better. Made some really good saves out in the third period in particular. But first goal, yeah, he wants
The,
that
the
back.
damage was done by then,
Just
Chris. Huh?
yeah, wants that back.
First
Second
goal, he's
goal,
a bit that off the post, and it's his blocker side, and it's at blocker height. There is no way that should be
yeah,
going past him.
So are you saying, Chris, you're
absolutely
saying that
not, Colin.
you're not a tuna and brine kind of guy. You're like a tuna and spring water. You don't, yeah, the brine's not for you.
Yeah, more of a kind of tuna and sunflower oil kind of guy, So
Oh, nice. Okay. Oily tuna.
yeah, and I felt maybe
I
oil
think
is what he needed
those pads
because
are a bit
I,
oily.
I,
I
think- I
think
think
those
he needed
pads are
oil
a
for his
bit
blocker, to
slippy.
be honest with you, to get that blocker going because
That
I
was,
just don't think he just don't think he's seen game ready, albeit he kind of came on to a game in the third period, I think, and second half of the second period as well. But I just feel as if certainly if we'd Sammy in net said we could have taken 2 points on the Sunday in particular.
okay. Colin, what about you? What's your overall feeling after those four games?
I mean, I think the lack of depth starting to show.
Hmm.
I think there's only so many times that the guys can pull it out of the bag, and I think having like Mackay out, we've still not replaced Mitchell Herd. And then obviously Sammy getting, we don't know if it was an injury, it was illness or whatever on against Panthers, but
It was
I suppose
illness. Colin came out with he came out, he was ill. That's been on the club
so.
website.
The thing is, like, see with regards to that, right? That's fine, but like when you look at over the past 12 games, we've only dropped points in 2 games. So 2 games in 12, we have not had an overtime loss, a win, or an overtime win. We've lost them outright. Now that's not a bad going considering the previous seasons. What I would say is that we're saying about Brine like having maybe across the 2 nights. Belfast played with Whistling 2 nights in the trot, and he's our backup netminder, and he done pretty well. So we can't always kind of, as much as Brian might not be the greatest, we still need to kind of try and protect him a little bit. But if you watch Belfast, they had Whistling both nights, and both nights they won. So I don't believe that Brit goalkeepers can't play 2 nights in the trot. I don't buy that. They're professional athletes. So that's not an excuse. Whether they're good enough to is a different question. But I do find that we are a team that plays on confidence, and I think at the moment the guys, I thought it was quite flat, especially against Belfast. I thought it was quite it didn't. It wasn't until maybe the last 10 minutes you actually were getting out your seat thinking, "Oh, we're getting closer," and we started to put a bit more into the game. But I really do think we need to ring the reinforcements. I don't understand why it's taken us now, what will be 5, 6 weeks away since Herd left, 5 weeks, and we've still
I think somebody
nothing.
said it was 7, Colin.
Well, I mean, whatever it is, that's still a long time. And then you can't tell me there's nobody out there that we can get in. I don't believe that at all. Um, and then we've had Mackay out, who's going to be out long term now. Bearing in mind, Kelp has been phenomenal
Yeah.
across every position he's played in. He has actually been one of the shining lights we've seen this year, and he came in as an addition. So if Mackay's going to be out, he's a big body, and you can start to see that sometimes with the physicality when it gets a little bit more physical, especially on the back end. I'm seeing that as well. But all in all, I think the effort's there. I can't fault what's happening, but I think that the power play for me is absolutely diabolical. It's 11.5% in 26 power plays. That's us scoring 2 in 26, just over 2 power plays in 26. That is disgusting.
Yeah.
So when you win stuff like that, they're the things that can take you over those 1 goal wins or 1 goal losses. But for me, it just looks a little bit flat at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I think my take was I'm like you for like the Nottingham game. I'm like again only because that genuinely does seem like a one-off. Like again, there's a little bit of circumstance. Again, you can't make the excuses. You shouldn't be getting. You don't be getting. Your compete level needs to be higher, but that can happen in hockey. It can happen in any sport. You have one of those nights. So if I take that out, obviously the Fife game, as expected, comfortable. the Belfast game, I actually thought the boys we played pretty well in that game, and yeah, it's one of those games where we could go either way. Yeah, we did. I think it's hard to really have a lot of complaints about that game. I thought we played well. It was the Guildford one for me that I actually thought didn't play. Kind of took a couple of periods. I felt they were on top of us. I don't know what you guys thought, but out of those four games, that was the one where you go. And again, we've talked about this. Obviously, we need to be beating Fife. Nottingham Panthers are going to be right up there challenging, but they are a good team. And I don't like that. Oh, they're a good team. That's not the case. But, you look at you expect Belfast to be up there. It's the Guildfords, the Coventrys. We've said that we're trying to elevate ourselves. Up above those teams to get the best seeding position. So that was the one that I think out of the four that I actually was the one. I actually thought, was it Phil? I think you sent Cody's interview. That was one of Cody's better interviews where I thought he was just. I don't think he was overly impressed either. I think he wasn't that thrilled with the performance level. So that was probably the one that I just go out of the four that I feel like, the point from Belfast, I can live with that. Nottingham, yeah, obviously you don't want to get beat, but if you get beat, don't get beat by 6 goals. But you know what I mean? So I just think that Guildford one was the one that got away, that the boys will look back and go, we didn't perform well.
No line change in the end that caught us out with the overtime
Oh
goal.
man, that's right.
I know it was, but it just summed up the game. To be fair, I actually didn't think. I thought Guildford probably in the balance deserved to. I just felt they were a bit better than we were, and I felt that we didn't play as well as we could. I don't know what it was, but I felt there was a little bit of a dip in the performance in that
Uli
game.
told us a new one as well, didn't he? Uli just ran the
Aye.
show.
He was
Yeah.
at a
Guildford
point to
that night.
prove, wasn't he? He was going to
See,
come back to Braehead.
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
see
Well,
that.
I think you had Murph, and if you looked at the analysis of the game and stuff, and it was Murph and Jerry were doing it and stuff, and basically they just said that the reason they left is because Guildford offered them more money. Simple as
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah. Well, there we go.
I was just going to say, see, just while we're
Yeah,
talking about that Guildford game, Langan played the last. Honestly, it must have been on about 2.5 minutes a regulation, right? And the turnaround, it could barely get back up to the centre circle because he'd been on the ice that long at the end of that game. And then it's a quick turnaround when you get into overtime.
oh, aye.
And Corey put him out in the first shift. As soon as the game started, he was just an absolute passenger. And then that's what led to the change. I don't know. I was watching him closely because was that with you at that game, Colin? Aye, aye. I says to you like he's knackered, like, and then it was in the in the left wing position and try to take his change for like over at the penalty box side and 3-on-3, and they just skated in 3-on-2 because he's bloody trying to get off. So basically what I'm trying to say is Corey shouldn't have put him out in that first shift. His legs were dead at that point.
Guildford have had our number for the
That's
past few seasons, haven't they? Like Guildford seem to just be one of those teams that when we match up against them, they always seem to get the better of us
Colin
each
Guildford
season.
have had their
Well,
number since they came into the league.
Since he came into the league.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
So that might have been
seem-
6, 7 years ago, whatever it was. They've been, but I don't think we've ever had a season where there was more points against them than they've had against us. But I could be wrong. I don't think that.
so I'm
Yeah.
saying like they just
doesn't post, mate.
there's
Yeah.
just a team that matches up that seem to have your number, but. Yeah, like I said, it's just I think the kind of disappointing thing is like we've been on this bit of a high for a little bit, and when it comes crashing down in almighty fashion by getting hammered
Whoa.
by Nottingham,
Not crashing down, boys. Let's just calm down to right here, right? It's not crashing down, is it? It's like, yeah, I mean, it's not that bad, right?
we've went from doing pretty well to losing 4 out the last 3. Sorry, 3 out the last 4.
But
Right, but what I'm saying is in like I think Corey's interview, I might be reading between the lines, right? But after the game on Saturday, he said, and his opening line was, "It's time to face the music." Right now, for me, is that him admitting that we need to hurry up and get people in, or is that a message that we need to hurry up and do something? Because for me, that line saying it's time to face the music, about what? So
To be
the
fair, I can mean a myriad of things, mate.
Could
You
be.
know, it could just be a guy
I
me,
think
looking
that's
for
but
ridiculous.
response with the team.
I
but
think that's ridiculous.
I mean,
No,
see when you
it's a dig at the players, but it's also,
No,
I think
I
it's a
dig it. I
no
dig it
no
upstairs. I think that's a
think
dig
so,
it
mate.
upstairs for not
It
giving
is,
them.
mate. I guess it's to interpretation.
Yeah,
when you look at when I mean I don't know about you, right, but if you've lost one of your top earners, right, in Mitchell Herd, that would give you huge scope to go and get whoever you want to go and get. And the fact that we haven't, have they been just sitting on it thinking, we're doing all right, we'll just see how far it goes? Normally, good teams, when they're winning, will build on stuff all the time. And this is probably where I think we're a little bit more naive, that we should have added quality when we were starting to when the wheels started to turn again pretty well. But I just don't understand why we've not got one a replacement and two a spare forward, because the amount of injuries we're going to end up picking up, the guys seem to be like, you seen it on Saturday. I mean, Hazeldine actually had to get escorted off the ice, like he had to get carried off the ice. Now I don't know if he got knocked out or what happened, but he was totally gone. Like he was face down and then started kind of moving about kind of gingerly. So we really need to, as a club, if we're going to try and push on, then we need to go and get players that can put the puck in the net, because our lack of scoring is still quite concerning from forwards. A lot of the goals we're getting at the moment are coming from defenders. Keel, Pullman, Fram. These guys are jumping and getting on plays, but we do need another secondary scorer, if you would call it that. Like somebody that can
we
fill.
primary scoring.
No, but I mean, you've got Newman and you've got Langan that are doing that job. I'm not saying it's completely, but what I mean is, in if you've got a guy like that was on the wage that Mitchell Herd that we can only assume was a big wage, why are we not going to fill that like quickly? If you know what I mean, like
We don't know. I mean, David Houghton did say that where the hell are all the signings? Hurd's not replaced Sammy Joe and Chris all hurt. Like, what's he going to do about it? Thing is, it doesn't feel like honestly like clan seasons of the past where it's a financial thing. It feel
mm,
I don't know if I do feel like Corey has quite rigid view of the type of player that he wants, right? And the attributes. So I wonder if it's something to do with the finding somebody that really fits that mold rather than like we're going to take a look at the guys that are available and take one of them. I don't know, but like, I've not heard anything otherwise.
there's
But
like
yeah,
quite a micromanaged guy. Like, see when you look at him, he talks about all the little points, right? But my biggest bone of contention of everything at the moment is the power play has been diabolical since day one, and it doesn't seem to have changed. No one, the power play being that poor at 11%, the only one we're higher than is Fife, and it's marginally higher than Fife, like as in by 1 point, right? If you're looking at that, if you look at, for example, Nottingham's power play, they were 28% when they played us. They were scoring one in three. So when you look at that, there's your differential between the two. And for us, we don't seem to have tactically changed anything on the power play to try and enhance that. Because again, the power play, we don't seem to have maybe to paraphrase Euros, where you say a bit of style. I can't see anything in the power play that makes me think we look really dangerous here. Every team must think when they come up against us at the power play on the PK, they're fine
Yeah,
because
everyone's different. Every power play is different that we do. Like there's no like a setup or well, obviously
yeah,
they
it should be
have
a
got a
partner play.
setup, but every single power play looks different because
coaching thing. Why has it not been recoached or looked at or whatever? Because it's the special teams that can win you games, and I don't understand why someone who is as micromanaged as Corey has not done anything about that.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, let's get to the Twitter stuff because I want to make sure we get to all these. Because thanks to everyone for sending the messages in today for some topics. So yeah, thanks David for that one. Stephen Hill's got one though. Chris, I'll come to you for this one because interested to your take. regular plexi issues. We'd have quite long delays. It was a Belfast game and Sunday. There was a long delay. Must be, and he's saying must be caused by the boards and plexi going up and down regularly for arena events and not being, not being reinstated properly. So do you think that's maybe part of the issue here? I think he's onto something there.
Yeah, I thought they were just buying the boards off Tuna.
Yeah, mate. I mean, the Carnival's issues, it seems more relevant this year, to be honest with you. I mean, a lot of teams do, a lot of arena teams do events, concerts, etc., other things out with hockey. I don't have an answer for you, mate. I really don't have an answer. When it seems as if we have more delays than anyone, whether it's still have the worst nets in the league despite investment in that, or whether it's a plexi issue. It seems to happen to us more than others, and there must someone out there has answers, but perhaps not solutions. And it's a solution we need to find.
Exactly.
See,
Okay.
the nets we know about, the nets is because there's a water pipe that runs right under it and they can't drill it. They stated that before. The plexi, however, wasn't the glass that went, it was the actual holder that got burst on Saturday. So the actual plexi was sitting open, almost like a letterbox or a door. And basically people were waving and the referees, nobody was paying any attention and they were they were shouting as much as they could. And it was sitting quite about, but it took so long and they replaced, I don't know how many bits and pieces. And there's 6 people standing around it. 6, right? You've got 5 in the ice and one guy behind on a ladder with a drill. And you're thinking, what are you all doing? Like, nobody's.
Yeah, to be fair, it's a bit. I don't fancy that job though. A bit of a pressure job. You got like 2,500 folk, 3,000 folk, just pure stadium. You're going, hurry up, mate, get that done. But
It's just.
yeah, who knows? Let's see. Yeah, so I think the answer is we don't. I mean, I think you're right. I think he is right. It going up and down probably doesn't help, right? But again, the arena wants to make money. This is why we don't have as many Saturday games, which is I have more of a problem with that
Yeah,
than
I
anything.
agree with that.
Okay, Dean Carter, good question here. I like this. Phil, will come to you for this one. Um, Last couple of weeks, results taken a little bit of a dip. Next 4 games against the top 3 are quite big. So I think we've got Cardiff twice. I think we play Nottingham first. So it's Nottingham, then double header against Cardiff. Then I think it's the Steelers. I think that's the next 4 before we get the Flyers again. So said you're quite big games because if we want to remain in contention for a top 4 finish, what's the minimum amount of points you want to take from, say, the next 4 games? That's Panthers, Cardiff, Steelers.
4.
Minimum is 4, right?
Minimum's 4. 50%. 50% will keep us. Obviously, I want 8, but
No, I think
the
you're saying minimum in order
minimum is 4,
still be.
Ross.
Yeah.
That keeps you in there, keeps the confidence up. After obviously it's a tough wee spell of games we've got here. So if we can come out these 50%, it keeps the train running. Do you know what I mean? And then if we can get another frigging player in or 2, well, keeping myself in contention to stay top half, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I'd probably go 5 if we want to. Just because the question is about top 4, I think if you want to aim for the top 4, I think we probably need 5.
2 wins and an overtime loss. Just
I
one.
think probably you need at least 5 to get me to believe we can kick on in those games. I don't know. Yeah, that's just my instinct. Just because we're I think it was just top half. And you're right, Phil. It's different. I think you're right 4, but I think look.
I don't disagree with what you're saying there. If you want to be top 4, then you need to take more than that from these games because this is the guys that you're up against. You're wanting regulation wins against these teams.
Yeah.
But I don't think we score enough goals really.
Yeah, and with Sammy, if we don't have Sammy, it's like
it was only an illness. He was only ill. It wasn't an injury.
Right, okay.
So I would expect him to be back, which is good.
To be honest, if he's playing, we've got Pullman's back. I do feel a bit more.
Pullman was brilliant at the weekend. Let's see against Belfast, he was tremendous. We were watching him off the puck, weren't we, Phil? And
He scored as well.
he does the things that like Schwartz does, like when players are scared, he uses his initiative and he actually just gets in the road so they can't like check his mate or do whatever they're trying to do. So he's a very, very clever player.
Okay, let me go. So Raymond, our good friend Raymond Monaghan. I think we've already answered this one, Raymond. But 8 weeks since Hurd has left. Any ideas why? Is it that waiting for the right guy, money saving, some 4D chess game from Clan? I think I don't know. My instinct is just that it's a right guy. It's like there's a very defined. I think with the Hurd situation and what they've learned, I do think there's an element of like caution there. I don't know if anyone has a different view that think it might just be a money saving exercise, but I do think it's more a
Right, I
defined.
think Raymond, as soon as Clarence from the stands headquarters finds out, mate, we'll let you know, buddy.
The
Right?
Dove will let you know.
So,
We will give you a
t-
word
Up
as
from
soon as.
above.
Yes.
see,
Yeah.
well, obviously with the amount of time this has took, and we've still not got anybody in. Do you think the money that's saved will mean that we can get a better player, or will they just go, no, we're sticking to the held
I
wage?
think I think it depends. Yeah, I think you're right, Paul. I think it's
Because that's a lot of dough in it they've saved.
I think
I
it is a
think,
bit,
I
and I
think,
think yeah.
I think. Sorry for interrupting. I don't necessarily think that's the thing. I think if the right player becomes available at the right price, and whether that's wages of Herd or whatever it might be, if the right player becomes available and the owner's convinced by the project, and I think we'll just go for it anyway, But we are hanging out for a stud, We really are
As
looking for this perfect player to come along. I
this
know, Colin, I agree with you, mate. I know we need bodies and stuff, but
No,
we're
I'm not going
clearly
to say
hanging
that.
out
I was
for.
going to say they're going to be left with egg in their face because if they wait all this time and
Mm,
they get an absolute warmer in, it's going to look even worse.
I know.
yeah,
I mean, I'm okay with a little bit of patience, but I think as well, Phil. I do think there's an element of. I actually think if a team have been doing less well, I think they might have had to pull the trigger. So I do think there's an element of. I don't think it's like
agreed.
a. Yeah, I don't think they're scrimping, but I think that they're going right.
Tricks.
And I think they also, you don't want to bring in the wrong guy. So I do think that there's an element of like it's maybe giving them a little bit of time to say like let's try and maybe there's somebody they're talking to, that they like that their situation. I don't know, but yeah, we don't know. But as I say, the dove from above will let you know as soon as we hear any whispers. Scott, as Lakovic was re-signed to be part-time coach this season, Colin, I'll come to you with this one. Were we or you expecting him to be playing so many games?
Me and Phil were talking maybe about the Brits the other night, and he's still got a little bit, but you can see like he's slowing down now. But I do think, he's not going to learn his trade by skating around the ice, is he? Like, I think he needs to do a bit of both, but then we've been short on bodies, haven't we, constantly? So we've always had an injury. So, well, there's your advantage of having someone that can do both. Then you've got cover. But in the same instance, he needs to learn his trade. If we're going to then, like, if he's going to become a full-time assistant coach, then he needs to learn that. He's not going to learn that by skating around and being a player. He needs to sit and understand the analytics and he's got a hockey brain. I don't mean to sound kind of like derogatory towards him. I don't mean that at all. But what I mean is in sitting next to like guys like Mike Saran and Corey and trying to pick up some of their good and bad habits to then know not what to do is maybe the way to go. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised he's played as much, to be fair. But then again, we've had so many injuries with players being injured, ill, like 2D being down. We've like I said, I think the most important guy for me has been Kell coming back. But Lakovic playing, yeah, I don't notice him as much as I normally did, if you know what I mean. Like,
I think the issue we've got, which I think is a UK-wide issue, is a real lack of quality Brits at the top level available. I think if you look at the GB squad, it's still the same guys who were calling on to a year ago. Mostly, most of these guys are in their thirties, mid to late thirties. Some of them, and I think that's there is the success. I'm a wee bit worried. Actually, it's a different conversation. I know we can talk about that all day, but I'm a wee bit worried that the Brits that are coming through now, they just don't seem to be at the same level, in my opinion, on a consistent basis and numerically as there was 10 years ago. And that then means that guys like Rob Lakovic will continue to get ice time at teams like Glasgow Clan.
Yeah, good point.
Hazeldean plays like an import, so it's kind of like when you look at him, Hazeldean's different level.
Nice
He's probably
ball.
one of the best Brit defensemen I've seen at Braehead ever since I've watched.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Ian McIntyre. Can the plexiglass be replaced faster? Because it sucks the life out of the game. We don't disagree. Asking if the ice crew better equipment or training, maybe. Definitely did seem to take a long time. He also said we let Reece Kelly go to Sheffield. Are Sheffield right to hold Logan Nielsen to his contract?
I don't know,
Well,
what's that story? Because I've not heard that.
why would they not sign Shaunty's contract and he's a Sheffield player? We let Kelly go. We influence if he forced to move out. We let him go. So what Logan Nielsen's doing is up to Logan Nielsen and Sheffield Steelers.
Yeah, I've not heard any whispers or anything. Certainly not seen anything on the elite leagues or on the socials or anything like that about any. I don't know if he's unhappy with ice time or anything. I don't know if there is a story there, Ian, but not something I've
Will
heard.
be.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, if that's the case, then I
So
mean,
is Ian suggesting that he could be coming to us? Is that
I
what?
think obviously it's Corey's son, so I think that I don't know if it's that, but I think look, he's under contract. It is what it is. I mean, we do all know contracts in this league aren't really worth much of the paper they're written on at times, but like you say,
Way
yeah.
on to paper.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, this I like this one. This is a Michael White. Great question. We kind of touched on this a little bit, Phil. I think you mentioned this. Let me just come to you with this one. Our goal score column tells its own story. Only Dundee and Fife have scored less in the league. And then he's asking about the Herd replacement. But let's actually take it away from the Herd replacement and focus it more on. And Colin, I think you hit on this as well, so I'll get your opinion. But Phil, in terms of goals, like not scoring enough goals. You mentioned that, right? Which is why you're not feeling that bullish about the upcoming 4 games.
Mhm.
What's the issue? Like, we talked about the power play, but do you think it's contribution from not enough guys? Are there certain guys that you feel are underperforming in the forward lines? Tell me what you think.
Um, we'll see before I think it was before that weekend there, before we get that tanking off for Nottingham. I'm sure we were 30 scored and 30 conceded. It was insane, right? So, how many games have we played? 15, so that's like 2 a game or something.
13, I don't know, 13, 14.
Aye, so it's like 2.1 a game or something like that.
14 we've played. But don't forget we took a spanking off Nottingham and Guildford, so there's
No,
12 goals.
that was before that. That
That's
was
what I'm
before
saying. All right, but no.
So, what that tells me is our defence is shit hot. That's what that tells me. The fact
And
that
our goalie, and our
we're
goalie.
averaging, and we're goalie, but we're averaging 2.2 a game or 2.1 a game, and we're in the league position we're at. I just feel we're one. The power play that plays a part in it, 100%. So there's that, and I honestly believe that we are just one really good forward away from being the difference between 4th and 7th. I think we could really penetrate that top 4 if we'd one really good
See the wee
forward.
side issue, Phil. See if it's up the top four, who drops out?
Who drops out. From what I've seen so far, the Cardiff or Belfast could drop out, mate.
I agree. That's what I was going to say. Belfast or not, that was the team I'd
No.
probably air towards Belfast, but Cardiff's the other one.
Well,
Nottingham would be
Well,
good.
you just need to look at Belfast's league position to see that things are not
Yeah.
going according to plan there.
but they're starting to roll now. We're starting to roll now. I think that must be
I think it's happened last year.
five or six in a row.
This happened last year. They're a slowest and they started to
Yeah,
roll. Like this did happen, but I do think, given the like you say, I think it's a really good point. Like this is where it's like how ambitious are the club in terms of like you go look. There is an opportunity here. It feels like
yeah,
it
yeah,
does feel like that, which is what you're alluding to, right? Which is like
yeah.
maybe a player, a piece away from really unlocking the offensive side of this team, which we're really come to our goaltending. We're getting top half goaltending, and our defense. We've made some upgrades there, which were badly needed.
It's the goals. See when you look at the goals, like the top 3 teams have scored 2-1. So they're all sitting in 60, 61, 57, and they've all conceded 33 and 32. They're all scoring double the amount they're conceding, right? But when you look at Belfast have now, they're 42 and 30. We're 34 and 41, but Manchester are a game ahead of us and they've scored 51 goals and they've conceded 44.
That's because we got
So
Danny Hayden, mate. That's why.
I knew you were going to say something about that. You just need to pull that alpha out of your ears a bit more. But when you look at it, if we can fix the power play and get some, well, no, it could be a dual, a double-edged sword. If you can get someone in that's a forward that is like as in a specialist in power plays, as in they conduct it, because we don't have anybody conducting anything at the moment from the blue line. But I think if you have a forward that can come in, then that solves kind of two problems with one bit. But we've also got we're coming into the Christmas period, right? And Clan, every team normally has a deadline where they can replace players, you know, that way and shift players out and in. And for me, we were talking about this on Saturday, weren't we, Phil? Right? If see right now, if you were to get rid of 1, 2 players and replace them, who would you do it? Who would it be? I know who Phil would be, right? So I'll ask you guys first, right?
Oh, is it one player or two? Like what we're saying here.
So it could be 2 defenders, it could be 2 forwards, it could be a defender and a forward, whatever you want.
So it's 2 players.
2 players. If you were to replace 2 players, I'm not including somebody that would come in to replace Herd, right? Because I don't know how that one works. But if you were to replace 2 players, if that's the 2 we've got left, who would you replace?
Oh, it wouldn't be 2D-men. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, the thing is, it's a tough one in terms like, are you taking into consideration like
You can tell me any reason
That's
you
his
want. It's just
imports,
2
you
players.
know. But
well,
yeah,
Not
you then you need
imports.
to,
It's got to
but
be
then
imports.
you need to caveat that with then saying, well, who are you bringing in there to replace him with?
Well, it doesn't matter who you're bringing in. I'm just asking you who you would bin.
I would been. I mean, I don't know. I think Felix Parry would be one. Like, I'm not. I don't know. Like again, this is what I mean. But like, it's not like you're going to bring in somebody like he's not like a top guy. But I
Hmm.
go, look, could you get somebody that maybe could contribute a bit more? Maybe. So he'd be one person I would say in the forward line. I would say for sure. What about Yarisic?
You talked about him saying he's a big body, doesn't hit enough. He's kind of flattered to
He's
deceive.
that's why I felt he started out really like I thought, oh, we could this guy's going to be fun, like, and he's going to. But so I mean, that's what I mean. Like, the way I say that is like if it's like a key piece to try and do something, it would be Yarisic. Whereas like I feel like Paddy, like, could we go and get a better player? Yeah, we definitely could, but it might cost you a bit more money. But I think that on the forward line, and then I'm trying to think. I mean, defensively.
I was joking to laugh here when we say this because I know what I'm going to say and he's going to jump down my throat of this.
Who?
Well,
Me?
does Phil wants rid of Saigo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I knew that straight off the
I
bat.
think I'm going to guess you two, Colin. I'm going to guess Brine if you could replace him with another minder Brit, and I'm going to guess who's the English forward who scored his
King.
first goal the other week.
Mitchell King.
King.
They're not
King. That's
imports,
my two for you.
but you're
Sorry.
wrong. You're wrong. I would replace probably Felix Parry. Well, between Parry and Yarisic would be one of them would have to be replaced. And I would probably, after watching him more and more, Saigo looks a foot or two off now. When you've got better defenders round now with Pullman, with Fram, even Kelb looks a lot better. Saigo kind of looks a little bit more leggy for me. And he seems to be the kind of weaker link in the defence, if I'm honest. And to be fair, as bad as it is for me to admit, Phil was sitting grinning like a Cheshire cat when I agreed with him on Saturday.
Right. You were right, Colin. You said something Saturday night about that, and you said it was the Gutwald effect.
Yeah,
That Saigo looked good
good in that poor
in
team.
that team last year. But see, when you've got absolute ballers like Fram and Pullman in there and an amazing a top his game, even Hazeldine, but Saigo just looks off it now next to when
Well, I
he's
think you've
in
got to
next
remember
to
that
them.
Saigon's now 35. We were talking last year in a few of you wanted both Saigo and the other guy back.
Me?
No, 25 Flyers. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about some wanted Saigo and the other guy who's in 35 to
We
25.
Yeah.
I pointed out obviously the age of these guys. You definitely wouldn't bring two back, but it could be the case. Could be the case that
He had his
Father
injury as
Time is
well.
catching up with
Going
Seagulls.
by that weekend with Kept Big Dupree.
We
He
should
got
have,
about
Who?
4 points.
but the thing is with Saigo, he did have an injury. Like he was, so I would say, maybe needs a little bit of time. I don't know.
I think though
Listen,
as well we look
I agree,
small.
Ross. I think he needs a bit of time.
Yeah.
We'll,
I don't think he's terrible. Like that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you see the difference when he's next to like those two guys in particular.
No doubt.
Uh, aye, and like Hazeldine doesn't stand out as slow or anything like next to them, and that's what's kind of telling me that Saigo's best days are behind him.
Well, we'll see.
Colin,
Okay.
interesting, mate. Maybe you got the numbers in front of you, Colin. Obviously, I'm on my mobile at the moment. Saigo was their top minutes guy last year from memory. I averaged maybe 23 minutes a game, whatever it might have been, 24 minutes, 25 in some cases. What's his minutes sitting at this season, Colin, in comparison to
a clue.
the other guys?
Don't
Sorry?
have a clue, but what I would say is like we look really small in the back end at the moment. So see with Mackay being out, we lack physicality at the back. I would say we are not. We're just not as physical. We're not as in.
Why is that big lump of wood Yarasek no smashing folk? He's massive.
He's
Like
huge,
that.
and
Yeah.
see when he hits people, you can see the whole plexi move, but he just doesn't do it enough for me.
No,
There's a
started
part of
fast,
me, I think he maybe struggles with the game here because when you see him, even when he's got the puck under control, there's parts of me thinking, as he came to this league thinking he was going to do X, Y, and Z, and then realise actually the quality in the league's really, really high. But the one that is like a standout, like see Schwartz, for a wee guy, he hits like a train.
mate.
Schwartz is brilliant.
He's
He's just
unbelievable, mate. He's unbelievable.
see I've what he's a 9 out of 10 at everything.
Every,
Yeah.
Like every part of his game, he's just got a solid game.
You've got to take, like, see what I would say as well. See, at the weekend, you've got to take your hat off to Nielsen's boy. He dropped him, and he's been choking for a fight for a little while, and he actually done all right. I thought he looked all right. And Kelb as well fought last week out of nothing. So two guys that we're not expecting, but
See Kelb pound for pound, he's probably turning out to be one of your best signings.
I think you're right. We'll come to that in a minute, though. Let me get to the other questions now, so we get through them all.
Mate.
That's all right, mate. Don't worry, you're fine. No, all good. So Danielle Young said, "Clan experience during things such as plexiglass. Should there be more crowd entertainment? Yeah, maybe a couple of freebies given away. There you go, Clan. Get the t-shirts fired out. Good idea, Danielle." She's also saying the theme nights are just money makers, starting to feel a bit repetitive. I've always hated them, so you're speaking to the wrong guy. Not for me. But yes, absolutely about money making. And then we've got a couple more. Graham Moff asked about the Herd signing taking so long. We've already covered that. Josh Hewitt, what's the success streak we had going there? Just no Herd bounce, and now our bubble has popped. We either play fantastic or absolutely flat. We seem to be a 500 team, right? So we're we'll 4 games we'll win 2 and lose 2, right? And we obviously need to be a bit better than that if we want to have those aspirations. But I think we've probably covered that in terms of, I think, Josh, we believe that there is that key signing maybe from pushing ourselves above that. Because right now, yeah, it does feel that we are that kind of team, and the team is overperformed at times, even being short bench. But it's very, very hard to sustain that over the amount of games that we're playing. Okay, let me come to so our friend Elite Opinion has got some festive questions. So it's quick fire, round robin. Number 1, we're just going to go around. Colin, you're first on my screens. I'll come to you first. Your favorite Christmas song? Go.
Jingle bells.
Jingle bells. Okay. Phil. Terrible shout. I like it.
The thing of New York.
Yeah, Fairy Tale in New York, the Pogues. Chris.
Last Christmas.
I'm a Shakin' Stevens Merry Christmas everyone guy, but that's just me. Your favorite Christmas family treat or tradition you remember as a child you still do? So what's that? What do you love doing at Christmas?
Always go to the SEC Carnival at New Year's Eve with my family every year.
I always watch It's a Wonderful Life is just like a tradition that like yeah, I always watch that. I don't know something about that movie. Chris, Phil, any traditions that you
Just
Um,
far too much,
eat
and
far too much?
just constantly just eating and
Love it.
drifting and stuff like that. Yeah.
I quite enjoy going to Marks and Spencer's on Christmas Eve at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
I
I've
love
heard
that.
that.
Do you know what I do actually? Now you remember,
Just there for the opening to
I
get
go.
everything fresh.
I love that. I actually do. Like, I like my doing last minute Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve. It's so quiet. The shops are dead because everyone's
Mm.
done it, and actually you get some bargains. So that's something else that I do. Okay, number three, favorite Christmas movie should be easy, right? Go for it. Who wants to go first?
Oh.
Miss movie Elf.
Elf, Home Alone for me, not even
I
close.
like Home Alone too. That's a hard one. Like it's with the
Home
kids as
Alone,
Elf.
the best movies ever made, in my opinion. But that
What
is
about what's the one Die Hard
I
with
Die Hard.
Hans
Wow,
Gruber?
great movie. Well, it's Chris, Phil.
In recent years, it's been Fred Claus for me.
Oh, I
I
love
like
it.
that as
Fred
well.
Claus, Vince
Brilliant
Vaughn.
film.
Love that. Chris, what
Yeah.
about you? Favorite Christmas movie?
I honestly couldn't tell you this thing,
He's
guys.
the
There were a
Grinch.
few.
He likes that.
That's it.
The wife will put a few of them on, but I can never remember the names. What was the one recently with what's her name? Emma
I don't
Emma
know.
Roberts. What was
I
that
don't know.
one?
I don't
Who's
know.
that?
Listen,
What
Anyway,
about
I
Jingle
think
All the Way? I like
I
that.
think
That's a
I
good
think
one.
basically Chris likes he likes a Christmas rom-com. We've
Yeah,
understood
see,
that's fine.
well,
Just
the
like this.
holidays, the
Yeah.
holidays a good one,
Aye,
but
holiday is
yeah,
good one.
there's a wee gem out there as well. Family Man with
Yeah, I've
Nicolas
seen that.
Cage. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah, yeah.
that's a good one.
I like
That's
Jingle All the Way. Arnie.
um,
That's a
yeah.
good one.
Okay,
I actually only watched that for the first time last year.
Brilliant.
nice.
It was good.
Okay, question number four. It's a good one. Phil, I'm going to come to you first here. You can get him first. Number one player so far this season.
Oh, and until I think he's kind of dropped off the last couple of weeks, I would have said Langan, but now I think it's Fram.
Oh, you stole my one, Phil. You stole my one.
I say
Ah.
Kelp.
Yep. Okay, Chris.
probably back to Palm again. It depends. It depends wins championships.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sammy is a goalie. I'll say that. I was gonna say Fran, but since you said it, I think the goal. I think we've not had a goaltender. It's been a problem in a lot of, for a number of years. So I'll go that just to be different. And then number five. Okay, I like this one. This we're gonna finish on. So he's put post Christmas position prediction. Okay, now I want you to do that, and I also want like a hot like have we got like a hot take as well? Like, is there something you think you're going to predict like where we're going to be like that's going to happen with the clan? So like, where do you think we're going to be after Christmas league position? Um, what do we think?
I
Is
think
this after
fifth.
the
I
New
go.
Year and that? After the festive
Are we
period?
talking about end of season here? Are we
No,
talking
no,
about end
no,
of
no.
season final position?
Just
Post
Christmas.
Christmas after. So let's say it's
All
January
right.
1st. Let's go
after
January
the
1st.
festive games.
So yeah, yeah. So let's go January 1st after the whole festive all the festive games. And let me know where you think we're going to finish. So we're currently sitting in sixth on 17 points, a couple of points behind Manchester with a game in hand.
I think
I'll go.
fifth.
I'll go fifth.
Fifth,
I'll go fifth. Yeah. I'll
Phil.
go. I think.
But what's
Yeah.
the
Manchester.
positions? What's the points for the teams surrounding
Right,
us?
okay, so Sheffield are top, played 16 games, 26 points. Nottingham are second, 15 games, 25 points. Cardiff are third, 16 games played, 23 points. Belfast played 13 on 19. Manchester played 15 on 19, and we've played 14, and we're on 17. And Guildford have played 15, and they're on 14, just below us. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Well, it all depends if we get help in. That's my caveat. What I'm going to say is if we get somebody just now, like within the next week, and they're good, we're going to be top 5 top four. There's going to be a point or two between 4 and us. If we don't get somebody in, it could be fucking really ugly.
I think we're going to be sixth, but I look at the lead. I think we'll probably be about. I mean, I think yeah, I think we. I
Yeah,
could
but
see fifth.
do you think the top 4 are going to like muscle away, or do you
It
think the
depends on
pack
Bell.
will still be there?
I think honestly, these next 4 games are.
Going to
That's
tell
why I
us a
said.
lot.
That's why I said you need 5 points to just to stay in touch because we're a little bit behind. So if you want to stay in touch with the top four, because Belfast do have a couple of games in hand, they're a couple of points ahead. So you're hoping we can hang around with them, right? Because they look like the ones. I mean, and Cardiff, and we've got a couple of games in hand against Cardiff, so we could go close to them as well. So you need to hang around, right?
Yeah.
But I do think Manchester, they're just more potent offensively than we are, and I think, like you say, I don't believe we're going to have help anytime soon. The Dove hasn't heard any whispers, which tells me it's probably not imminent. So I think that we will be. Yeah, I think we'll hang about there, and I think it will be fifth or sixth.
You keep pulling away for the pack at the bottom. We don't want to go
Yeah.
back into that dogfight that we were in last year. We want to keep pulling away with the top end of the pack. When the separation starts to happen, you want to be up the top end of the table.
Yeah, well, I mean, the interesting thing this year is, I mean, we want to try and stay away from Guildford. I mean, Guildford are only a few points back. We've got a game in hand right enough, but yeah, you don't want Coventry catching up with you, and you're kind of thinking it looks like Dundee
See,
and we're doomed.
see,
But
see, since the Dove's been quite quiet lately, I was talking to a wee chicken,
oh, right.
and and they told me that we've tried to sign 9 different guys.
Aye. Oof.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
You know, that's a
Another
terrible
nine.
strike. That's like swiping right like 9 till you get
Yeah,
KB'd every time. You're like, that's not good, is it?
That's a bit as good as our power play percentage, you know what I mean? We've hit, but
But yes. Okay. Well, listen. That's a good way to finish it. Just what was a couple of things before we wrap up.
wait a minute, what are you going to caveat? He's got the dove for the above. What are you going to call it? The chicken for what?
I know.
I don't know. I'll come back to that next week.
Yeah, it'll come back to us. But yes, we will. Yeah, we're obviously looking forward to the next 4 games. Big 4 games, big test for the team. Looking forward to seeing how the boys get on. And yeah, Phil, you see you're still donning your lovely Clan for the Stands hoodie. Um,
Yep.
yes, they are available. They are available. Just so everyone
Yeah.
knows, they are available if
Yeah.
you want one. They are available. Any, again, reasonably
Yeah.
priced.
So I only seen there was somebody had put it in on the Twitter
Yeah.
thing that somebody was looking for one. I only seen that the other day, so nobody told me. But just if anybody wants one, 27 quid, and I'll just meet them at the game, and you can give us transfer the money or whatever, and it's so we can get like mics and because we're kind of want to start doing me recordings before the game, and you can't really hear anything. We're doing it on the phones in there, so we're going to try and get wee microphones and stuff.
That's right. Yeah,
All non-profit.
absolutely,
And
mate.
let's be honest, they're just cool.
Aye. Well, you love it. I love mine as well. I should have worn it tonight, mate. Sorry, I was running about. The kids are wanting stuff before
Very
bed.
much your
Because you're
hat,
looking for his elf hat, aren't
I
you?
would have been. I know I had that on doing the tree with the kids, but yeah, and also I think we are maybe the next one we're going to try a live episode, so we're going to have folk be able to comment and stuff as well, and just ask questions live for
Yeah.
a bit of a bit of fun, a bit of spice to keep things fresh. But yeah, so
Also, put your comments in on the episode as well. Just tell us who was talking rubbish tonight, what you thought,
absolutely.
all
Feel
that
feel,
stuff.
feel, feel
You
free to
always run
sass
that
the life
one,
out of us.
Phil.
Yeah. Feel
Sorry?
free to sass the life out of us. We don't mind. But yeah, to do something like that, keep a bit of fun. Yes, and we might have some collaborations as well with podcasts of other fans that may be in the pipeline. But we'll see how that manifests. We'll keep you posted, folks. But listen, we're in December. The countdown's on, right? Everyone's counting down those days until hopefully we're finished up for Christmas. Plenty of hockey games to come, boys. And listen, let's hope we get Sammy back healthy. He gets over that illness, and this next tier of 4 games could be spicy. Let's hope we can come out on on a positive side of the 500, right, would be a great return for the boys. But yeah, anyway, boys, good to see you all. Thanks to everyone for the comments on the clan.